us. We do hope you are also able to command your morning with the Makers House Chapel. They come your way each and every weekday, all the way up until the news takes over. Well, it's a fairly cloudy day here in Adisawe in Kanda. Could be different where you are. Connect with us, let us know. But somebody who is best placed to let us know what conditions will prevail today is Felicity Ahafionyo. She joins us from the Ghana Met. Felicity, hello, good morning to you. Hope you are well.
Yeah, good morning, Helen. I am better today than yesterday.
Amazing. It's looking like the clouds might be pregnant with a little bit of rain here in Kanda. What should we expect in the capital and beyond?
Yeah, thanks so much and good morning to our dear audience. Yes, you have observed very well. We are having a cloudy weather this morning over most portions of the country with light rain or drizzle. Today is going to be a bit dry compared to yesterday. In the afternoon, we expect the sun to break through, and then we expect temperatures to be mild across the 16 regions, going to range between 29 and 31 degrees Celsius. By evening, we expect just isolated cases of rain with possible thunder over part of the middle sector and the northern sector, but it's not going to be on a larger scale. For the sea, today we expect it to be rough, but then we are expecting moderate windy conditions, so fisher folks have to be careful. Water lake is also pretty cool for any fishing activities, but then they just have to watch out for the anticipated isolated cases of rain and thunder in the late afternoon into the evening. Aside that, the lake is free to do any fishing activities. If there's going to be a change, we will definitely update you with our afternoon or evening weather forecast. And if the need be, we'll issue a weather warning.
Absolutely, Felicity. Thank you so much for that very comprehensive update. Of course, if anything changes, I know that you will let us know. And I will be looking out for the updates as well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, that was Felicity Ahafionyo, Chief Forecaster with the Ghana Met, letting us know what to expect by way of weather. If you've only just joined us, good morning again, a warm welcome. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. We're so lucky to have you this morning. Enjoy this one.
Ooh, yeah. Got air in my lungs, I'm so lucky. I got
a reparation for atrocities. President demands urges Africans to resist any form of enslavement, oppression. UCC honors Dr. Prempeh, 6 others for contribution to humanity loss incurred in 2022 due to DDEP, Bank of Ghana, Gibas Youth Ministry Company for unilaterally charging fees. Helen, what do you have?
All right. The Daily Graphic this morning has this to say. IMF bailout. Government meets second release conditions. Slave trade reparations. AU approves Ghana conference. GCB Bank at 70. Testament of banking leadership. And that's coming from the Bank of Ghana. On the back page of the Daily Graphic, sewage plants commissioned at Ashaiman. And you see a picture there of the president along with that story. 37 military hospital to conduct mass burial for unidentified and unclaimed bodies. The Business Finder newspaper this morning. GCB Bank to support Ghanaian businesses to explore beyond our shores. Solar Africa merger to unlock sustainable access to power. And Ghana to end use of fossil fuel cars by 2070.
Sorry, Bob.
All right. I also have with me the Daily Guide, and on the front page you have "You can't impose candidate on MPP, Akufo-Addo." 7 grabbed in Cecilia Dape's $1 million stolen cash. Attorney General orders probe. Nana pushes for privatization of women, children, and then Giba sues AG KNet over DTT platform.
Okay, those are what we have there, Helen. Where do we begin?
Well, this one is captured on page 17 of the Daily Graphic. Parliament must investigate Bank of Ghana losses. Adongo. The ranking member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, Isaac Adongo, has urged the House to commence investigations into the activities of the Bank of Ghana for losing up to 55 billion Ghana cedis in equity and recording a negative reserve in 1 year. I'm quoting him here. He says, since 1967, if we add all the losses that the Bank of Ghana has ever suffered, it is nowhere near the 70 billion that it has incurred in 1 year. He said last Tuesday at the commencement of debate on the mid-year budget review presented by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta last Monday. The Bolgatanga Central MP said the ramifications of what the Bank of Ghana had done would not be felt now or immediately, but in several years to come. Yesterday we were heavy on this, trying to dissect and wrap our minds around who can really rein government in. As far as spending is concerned, government is unable to rein itself in. The Bank of Ghana is unable to rein government in. The Minority Caucus is certainly unable to rein government in. In fact, I say they are complicit in some of our woes because they also approve.
They are accomplices, not victims.
Thank you. The citizenry certainly cannot rein government in. And I've just been asking the question, who really can rein government in? Who?
I think the government should be able to rein itself in. And I've seen the Bank of Ghana trying to do some residual explanation that, okay, what we saw as vehicle maintenance included fuel and all of that. I'm not a finance person. I'm not an accounts person or an audit person. But I do know that when accounts are presented, and we have been in the Student Political Front before, there are notes and appendices that are put to it. In this report, where were they? Is this an afterthought? So because the public is speaking now, we are now come and explain. So if the public hadn't spoken, that would have been it. I mean, sometimes people who have duty to lead need to treat the citizenry with a lot of respect.
That's right.
That respect is often missing because people, as Kekedi will say, people who are meek in mind, they get to positions of authority and they want to lord it over everybody and make it feel as if, okay, we are the ones in charge. I don't get it. I don't get the explanations that the Bank of Ghana is trying to do either. For you to, in one fiscal year, declare 60.8 billion cedis loss, you have lost it. There's no explanation that you will tell the people which will make sense.
But do you think that what happened
you have lost it?
Commercial banks that were liquidated to also happen to the BOG?
Well, I mean, people have made that suggestion. I will not make that suggestion, but except to say that, look, if you set a standard and you are the regulator, and as the Bank of Ghana insists that, well, whatever has happened will prevent them from enforcing their rights as regulators, they should be able to at least meet their own standards.
Yeah.
That
If
is
you
right.
are unable to meet your own standards, so what happens to the examiner if he fails the exam he set for the children for which he failed them and repeated them?
I don't
Then,
think.
then exam's question is wrong.
Well,
Probably.
Well, I mean, you can have that argument, but again, this is where the common sense man on the street will ask
Yeah.
this question.
Yeah, and
That
it's a very cogent
you
one.
set a question
Yeah.
for students.
Yeah.
They sit for the exam, some fail, and you even have some of them expelled from the
Yes.
school. Now you, the examiner, is given the same questions to answer, and you fail.
I wouldn't take an examiner of that caliber seriously at all.
Yeah, but-
Either we change the lecturer of the course, because we can't say because
I'll
they're
probably have to change the course. Maybe the course is so
Well,
confusing to the extent
well,
that
well.
even the examiner is not able
But
to
this is the
pass.
course you need to take to pass.
But
Without
Helen,
this course,
get
you won't
closer to the
pass.
mic.
Yeah, but Helen's assertion is very important. Yeah, she said that now we cannot even hold Parliament accountable, right?
They can rein government
Great
in.
government
Yeah.
in, you know, but can we trust Parliament to probe into this issue and then get us any better outcome? Because as you rightly said, Parliament is not a victim but an accomplice. Okay, so I think that some of us were so excited or overly excited with the hung, Parliament. But I maintain that the hung Parliament is not the panacea to Ghana's, challenges, because they have proven over time that it's more or less like nothing really has changed.
That's right.
And Parliament's role is to ensure that the scarce or meager resources of the state are put to good use. That is why they have to go through contracts, they have to go through even loans that are contracted by the government. So this key role of Parliament, I think that Parliament hasn't really done well with it.
Well, what Honorable Adongo says is, he says currently Mr. Adongo says Bank of Ghana could not take monetary action without borrowing or printing money, saying it printed 80.57 billion to shore up the economy.
Right.
Indeed, the amount, according to the auditor's report, was an impairment in investment in government security. I'm quoting him again. He says, Mr. Speaker, the government has compromised the future of these children, referring to some visiting children in the gallery. Some of you will be praying to work at Bank of Ghana one day. Please don't go there because it is gone. That's how he addressed the young ones there.
He's overstretching the
Yes,
matter.
I agree.
To
I
suggest
agree.
that the Bank of Ghana is gone. William, good morning.
Good morning.
Is the Bank of Ghana gone?
Oh no, I mean, it's in distress, but it's not gone. I mean,
So
they've given indications that there are a lot of countries around the world that have gotten into their situations, but they've still been able to perform. Just that I don't think they can get money to lend out to the government and then to banks that may come for loans. For that, maybe after the 3 years of the IMF deal, when things settle, before they can start giving out loans. That's the picture that I see.
So
now.
the Bank of Ghana is in distress.
Yes.
And they need to de-stress.
Yes. And
They are in distress.
Yes, and they
but
need
they need
to
to
de-stress.
de-stress. Yeah.
okay, you guys should pardon my ignorance. Okay, I always find it difficult when we say the country is not having money, because I know that as a sovereign state, we have our sovereign currency. And we have the control and right over that money. Okay, though we need to go elsewhere to go and print the physical cash. But I've come to realize that when we talk of money, money is more or less a concept. And that concept is when we agree, okay, that this is how we want to operationalize our economy with, largesse. When you apply for loan at the bank, they don't give you the physical cash. They will give you a message, Mr. Hughes, your request for loan has been granted, and your account has been
gone for a
debited.
loan
Yes.
before anyway.
And your account has been, credited with so and so amount. It's the message that you get, and then with that message, you can go and withdraw cash. And I've come to also realize from the Momo that yes, money is just code. So if I type papa, sir, it comes to your wallet. It's money. If you want to go and buy, you use that same to buy.
But
We
you-
don't need to physically print.
But you work in a system, you see, so it's not just Ghana. You work among a community of nations.
Yes.
You cannot decide that you want to set your own rules and stick with them.
This is not-
because you're not a global power to begin with.
So this one, you're not setting your own rules.
So the global powers...
You are not printing dollars.
Yeah, I mean, you're not printing dollars, but if you decide to print cedis, how much can you print? We saw what the Bank of Ghana printed.
So that's what I'm saying, that you don't need to print the physical
And we saw what the Bank of Ghana printed. We started raising concerns about Bank of Ghana printing money to pump money into the economy to support the deficit of the budget and all of that. The Bank of Ghana said they were not doing anything of the sort, correct? Now it is clear on paper that they did even more than what we knew. 60 billion. So you work within a space. I mean, if you had your own way, you can print as much as you want. You can say, oh, I have as much as I want on paper. But the point is that how would that help to uplift your economy? Or will it crash your economy?
It is the value. It is the value that you put on that piece of paper or coin you have. And that value will also facilitate the transactions that you engage in as a country, as a company, or as an individual. Now, if you print 3 trillion cedis, why are you taking it to in the Committee of Nations? Why will you take
your
it?
CD is your CD.
Your CD stays here.
That's right.
Now, the international currencies are the pounds, and if you like, the dollar, and now maybe the Chinese yuan. So where you are going, a lot of what you use is imported. When you take your money to the US to go and buy a car, it cannot. So you have not produced enough.
That's exactly the problem.
You have not produced enough as a country to stay in your country and enjoy it. So you have to travel to go and bring in something. Right. But when you get there,
you need
your money is useless, and the value of what you are bringing, you have to get the dollar.
Exactly the point. Because you're working within a Committee of Nations. You're not a superpower.
That's right.
What you're talking about, the US can do it and still feel cool. Even that, they have a few restrictions here and there because they are also in partnership with other nations.
That's right.
The US is not a standalone. Europe comes into the equation and what have you. So you need to be careful.
So Ghana's problem is not the cash, it's the value addition.
Of course, I mean that's
the value addition. We are not producing.
Course,
that's the reason why we are suffering.
That's the bottom line. But who doesn't know this? The government knows it. The government is very much aware of what it has to do. The government knows it. The government said we'll move from taxation to production. The government knows it.
Yes.
The government set up a whole special initiative ministry to build factories. The government knows it. The government is very much aware of what has to be done. As to the political will to do it, is a different ball game altogether. Look, I'll give you a classical example. Comenda Sugar Factory, right? The government said that we're going to start fully operating the Comenda Sugar Factory in April 2022. This was President Akufo-Addo's own words after it delayed for whatever time. He said, we're going to start operationalizing it in April 2022. April 2023 has come. Add May, add June, add July. He has still not spoken about it, but he's busy cutting sword for another affordable housing while the refurbished factory is there, not working. So sometimes,
and they'll tell you that there are no sugar cane to feed the factory.
And as William will say, how long does it take to plant sugar cane? What is the gestation period of sugar cane?
And I mean, those countries producing chocolate, do they grow cocoa? You can also import the raw material. You can also import it and add value to it. It's value addition that we have been talking about all these years.
If you are going to add value to whatever raw material you have imported, what is the technology? You have not produced the technology. So the countries that are doing well are harnessing the mental capacity of its citizens. If you go to the US, a lot of the billionaires are people who are thinking engineers. Or if you look at Zuckerberg, what he's doing is engineering. So if you sit here, you grow all the crops and you don't have the technology to process. Somebody will buy it cheap and then process and sell at a higher cost to you.
That's why you have to import the technology.
When you are investing in technology, you're also investing in education. You are investing in quality education. Because you see, knowledge does not move the nation. It is wisdom that will move the nation. You acquire the knowledge. How do you process the knowledge to push the production or the development? So that's what we are doing.
That is the application of pi r squared.
So I just found out the gestation period for sugarcane is between 9 and 24 months. 9 to 24 months.
Yes.
Now, some, depending on the species you have, some can be ready by 9 months and some 24 months, and between 9 and 24 months. Are we suggesting that when the president made that call, it took about a year for that deadline to happen, and then another year? We have not planted one sugar cane that we can go and harvest.
And even how long have we had planting for food and job?
Come on, please.
It's more than 2 years.
You are importing tomatoes. You are here talking about sugar. So it's a political will to add value, and I don't see that political will happening because for the politician, there has to be a tangible project that people can hold. If they put out affordable housing, as is being done now, and even start the, the foundation, and there is always a way the political class blackmails the electorate. They dig the ground, they start the foundation, they do 3 or 4 or 5 courses, and then they tell you, our time is up, but if you vote for us, we will come and complete the project. That's what they do. So they behave like those retirees who are due for retirement, who see a course or a training program coming up. They are 50, 59 years, 3 months old. They have about just 6 months to go home, and then they go and apply for that course and go and come. By the time they come back, they are 2 months to retirement, and then when you ask them to go, they say, I'm going to acquire knowledge. I need to pass on the knowledge, so give me a year or 2 contract, let me stay on and pass on. And that's what they have been doing to us.
And our fight has always been our inability to differentiate between wisdom and knowledge. Like you're saying, we're interested in acquiring knowledge. That's why we are interested in praising professors, emeritus professors, doctors, because they have acquired knowledge. Now, how is the mix of that with wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to apply the knowledge to make sound judgment. So if somebody is in a position as a leader, the output of his work, does it show sound judgment? A lot of the things that our political leaders have done over 4 years, if you sit down, do you see sound judgment? As soon as sound judgment is missing, there's just people holding knowledge and just sucking from the system.
And waving it.
Yes, that's the point. So if people in the West are training their kids to be wise, it is that they are helping them to interact with the environment in a way that they will make sound judgment every step of the way. You understand what I'm saying? So we have everything, but we are not able to make sound judgments with the resources that we have. So if you go to Switzerland, where they produce chocolate, you see a plaque, and whatever is written there, you see Ghana's name in there. Why is our name there, and we are not the biggest producer of chocolate?
Let's ask Helen.
Honestly, I think we had cause to talk about our extractive sector as well. Number 1 leading gold producer on the continent.
What does it mean?
As for this shining star of Africa, I think we have to just give that title up, because we are not doing anything that shows that we are the leaders.
Black shines brighter
In this part of the world.
You know the symbol for ideas?
Light bulb.
Thank
Ding,
you.
ding.
Maza.
Lights ne doom.
And if
the thing is, if you have ideas, it means you are thinking, you are looking at how to get something out of the knowledge you have. But we are interested in somebody has 3 masters and he's looking for a job. That tells you that
there's a problem somewhere.
Yes.
He's a master, but he can't create. He wants to still be a servant.
Exactly.
So anyway, Giba sues ministry company for unilaterally charging fees. That's on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times. The Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association has sued the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization and KNET Ghana Limited for an unilaterally charging contribution links fee without any legal basis or parliamentary approval. According to Giba, the 2 entities also disconnected broadcasters from the National Digital Terrestrial Television Transmission Platform on account of non-payment or fee charge for conditional link services. This in a statement signed by the president of Giba, Cecil Sunko-Mills, copied to the Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday. It said that the association sued Ministry of Communication and Digitalization and KNET Limited for establishing and charging arbitrary fees to be paid into a Central Digital Transmission Company Limited, as DTT channel, hosting fees by broadcasters without the approval of the fees from Parliament. There's a parliamentarian, a lawyer, a cabinet minister, and according to Giba, they are flouting the laws. We seem to be having one too many of these things. The housing project which was recently cut by the president, we're told now that it doesn't have or didn't get parliamentary approval. And that's not the first. Kwekwajima Menu Sputnik V, Jobo, no parliamentary. Too many of them. Why is it so rampant?
I fear for the future of our parliament, okay? If you look at how things are, unfolding, it appears as if the powers of parliament is being usurped.
By who?
By certain, powers within the executive arm of government. And this is probably because we have most, or let's say 50% per the law
That's
of
what the
the
Constitution
cabinet members or the ministers coming from parliament.
50% of the ministers must come from parliament.
And which for some of us is not the right thing to do if
We're
we really
running
want to operate the
we're-
principle of separation of
We're
powers.
running a mixed system, with the Westminster and the parliamentary system. We're running both. So,
And,
here
and,
we
and,
are.
and this is the issue. And I think that it's about time Parliament really stepped its foot down to assert its authority. Other than that, a time will come. This one will become worse. It will become worse. So Parliament need to crack the whip. You know, they should see themselves.
They're ship for me.
Yes, in fact, if they don't shift the executive into line, because you know the same thing happened with the Ghana card and then the re-registration of same issue. You know, it took the likes of Samjata George and co to ensure that the right thing was done. Maybe it took a long time. So I think that parliamentarians should see themselves first as parliamentarians before they see themselves as members of different divides.
It's not
Other than that, they will lose their potency.
It's not the English.
Hey.
Yeah.
Tigana Nico University no we are brofo kasa tenten brofo wo we asi nyina yebeka why are there waka wie execute it near. So this book accounts us that there's difference between knowledge and wisdom. Because school na lecture on na your certificate as a diploma and when your bachelor's when your master's na say for that is knowledge. Wisdom is applying what you've gotten. Home and aka we are unable to apply anything. The back kasa ni achibrofo gwietrim ni aka na sabe ye nkura asesam no bi ka brofo akwadi wo ya de o akufu ade ba afofra no who see na brofo for that president wa ka brofo ene ene ate ho no sabrofo ni ebedie.
Oh my God.
Because Johnny, we learned how to calculate voltage, current, and all. But they did not tell us that when you are going to buy an iron, electrical iron, when you are going to buy an electrical gadget, you should check, the
applicable knowledge.
Yeah, so that you know which one will be energy, efficient.
Yeah.
They will not tell you all these things and just learn Ohm's law, pi square.
You know, when I was in school, I did physics in school. And one of the holidays I went to, there's a gentleman who around our area called Ifo at the time at Abosokai, and he used to come and fix our gadgets like bulb is off. He comes to swap it for you, plugs and all of that. So one day I brought my results home. It was good. Passed your physics exam, and then the one of the I think there was the iron, the plug.
Yeah.
It just melted. So we went to buy a new one.
Yes.
Then I told my father, I'm going to call Ifo to come and fix it. And then my father asked me, Boke, Ifo, and I'm at school. I said, he said, Ifo, a physics. I said, no. Then I said, Ifo, a Ohm's law. I said, no. Ifo, a capacitance. I said, no. So these are things that, I used to rattle off the top of my mind. He said, but if Ifo doesn't know all these things, why are you going to call Ifo who doesn't know to come and do it? It means that Ifo is wiser and smarter than you. Because you have done the thing. You have written exam, passed, you can recite it, you know it. But applying it, today they go call Ifo.
There was an engineer, his nickname was I Thought As Much. When the technicians come and do the job, we started when they finish, I say, I thought as much.
I thought as much. And we'll see you shortly. Johnny's Bad is up next.
All right.